Hey, Snowmen. Once a week on Fridays, I feel great joy because I'm here with you at the ICE Personal Development Program sessions. Today is session number 6. Many of you are already present on the chat, and I want to welcome all of you warmly. Thank you for being here, for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge with you and to support you in acquiring the skills necessary to be successful. Well, I'm looking on the chat and I will give you my salute, all of you. Sharda from India, welcome. Michael, hello. Musa, hello and welcome. Many friends. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Oguna. Thank you, Aslam. Moses from Nigeria. Marion from Philippines. Excellent. Thank you very much, friends, because you are here, and we together we will be successful. Okay, let's go, friends. Like last time, today I will be answering some of your questions and addressing concerns you had both here on our chat during our sessions and on other social platforms. I know you are very interested in various topics like KYC, which will begin soon with step 1, sure, and many other topics. However, I kindly request that if you have questions related to topics such as ICE total supply or various features on the ICE network, please start by visiting our website knowledge base. Search there, especially in the frequent asked questions section, our page, and see if there is a dedicated page for that topic. Only if you can't find answer there, please come to our weekly meetings and ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer if haven't found the information on our site. This is a matter of respect for your fellow Snowmen colleagues who might have other questions or want to learn something interesting. Instead of listening to an answer they could have easily found on the website, let's make these sessions as productive as possible. Well, today I will make an exception in the sense that seeing there are many questions regarding KYC and other topics, during this session, I will respond to your questions. Last time, we talked about prosperity and how it's somewhat different from being rich, for example. I told you last time that each of you should be interested in the notions of project management because each of you should have your own personal project, your own purpose, and your own objective. Well, we have here, don't let life be by chance, at the mercy of waves and winds. Be the captain of your own life. Take control of your life. Take the helm of your ship and set the direction do you want to go. Leave behind laziness and the search of handouts for freebies and so on. Get out of your comfort zone. Surpass your current condition and be willing to make an effort. Straighten your back. What I mean by this is that if you only look at the next step, if you go down in a position of humility, you won't be able to see far ahead. You won't have a perspective. The more you bow down, the more you focus on the next step or the next 2, 3 steps ahead. The less you'll see and the perspective of road ahead. This is a characteristic of extreme ages. What are these extreme ages? Well, early childhood, up to 3 years or maximum 4 years old, and the senescence stage of life, when the child has not yet stood up, or when he is very short on anyway, he has no way of seeing in the distance. The same thing happens with those who have reached old age. You have noticed that they walk with their back slightly bent, as if they are only looking at their next step. In both situations, we don't have a long-term perspective for objective reasons. In childhood, because a child lacks sufficient information and the capacity to mentally construct a future. And in old age, because people at the old age are not longer very well connected to the informational flow of society, their ability to build long-term plans is diminished as a consequence. But you, you are in the prime of your life. Don't bow down. Don't just look at the next step. Look in future. Focus on what you want to achieve in the next 3, 5, 10 years. Not just on what you want for tomorrow. Your plans should aim the 10 years horizon. I understand if you don't want to commit the horizon longer than 10 years. It's understandable because we don't know what society will look like in 20 or 30 years. But over the next 10 years, we have a pretty good idea, or at least for most of our personality, we have a good idea what we'd like. Even if you get annoyed with me and say that Apollo has gone mad, repeating the same thing 3 times or 4 times. Well, I'll own that. But because I've taken on this responsibility, please allow me to say it once more. I implore you, look into the future, leave the past behind, and look at the next 2 steps briefly. Don't do this. Well, every now and then I hear someone when we meet only talking about how much they suffered 2, 3 years ago when an unpleasant event occurred. Dear people, in 3 seconds, this very second we are living now, it's already in past. From the past, we only need to learn lessons. Pay attention to what happened only to learn a lesson, to remain emotionally anchored in the past. Once again, not to remain emotionally anchored in the past. Settle your accounts with the past. Learn the lessons and emotionally free yourself from it. If you don't imagine your future, if you don't desire it, it won't materialize. You'll live like a ship whose captain looks behind the ship, where it came from, and doesn't look ahead to where it's going to. It will drift aimlessly. It's, I don't know, like a car whose driver spends too much time looking in the rear mirror. Okay, about this, let's watch a short video together.
Welcome to the Journey of Perspectives, where we learn to navigate our way from past to future. Picture this, you're driving a car. Where do you look? Would you keep your eyes fixed on the rearview mirror, watching the path you've left behind? That's kind of a risky drive, isn't it? Your focus on the past could make you miss what's happening now and what's coming ahead. The same goes for our life's journey. You can't go to the future looking only in the past. Look through the windshield, that's where your future is. It's important to learn from the past, but always keep your eyes set on the future. That's where your potential lies, where the possibilities are limitless. Embrace the future, visualize your goals, and focus on your path ahead. Remember, your windshield is bigger than your rear view mirror for a reason. So drive ahead, keep learning from the past, but don't let it be your only guide. Look forward through the windshield toward the exciting, boundless future that awaits. Driving ahead from past to future.
As I mentioned, you can't drive a car by constantly looking in the rear view mirror. You won't see the road ahead. And for sure, you are in danger. But right now, I can look back, both in the current chat and in the previous one, and answer some of your questions to avoid having too many piled up at the end. For example, I found concerns about KYC both in the chat and on the social media platforms. It's normal to have these concerns. And it's normal to want to learn more about this process. This is the third time I am addressing this topic. KYC, step number 1. Next time, I will point you to one of the 3 sessions in which I address your concerns about KYC step number 1. Well, the KYC process will unfold in 2 stages. The initial stage is set to commence shortly, likely within 2 or 3 weeks, and we will provide you with notice in advance. This first phase, known as KYC step number 1, will entail a face recognition procedure. Whenever a user wishes to engage in tap to mine, they will be prompted to facial recognition. A window will appear within the application, prompting the user to align their face with the provided frame. Additionally, users will be asked to display various emotions. Our system will capture the image and cross-reference it with our database, simultaneously confirming the subject as a human, as an individual, rather than a photograph. There are some crucial points to clarify. Our system will detect with remarkable precision in the same individual has previously authenticated their image for another account. In such instances, when the same digital image is associated with 2 accounts, the second account attempting fraudulent activity will be frozen and permanently inaccessible. This procedure, it's swift, very fast, and will be requested each time a user checks in by pressing the ICE logo button. Conversely, in KYC step 2, slated to occur several months prior to the mainnet launch in the phase 1. When the phase 1 will completion, scheduled for the October 2024, users will be required to furnish a valid national ID or passport. One of them. The national IDs must be valid, as well the passports that you will present. The photo on these documents must match the one used during the initial KYC step number 1. If the photo on the national ID or the passport doesn't correspond to the one in our database already, the account will be frozen and inaccessible. It will be evident that an attempt to bypass the established regulations known from the outset was made, and you are culpable. For genuine users, those who have no intention of subverting the system, those who diligently promote their micro-communities, mine responsibly, there are no reason for concern regarding this KYC process. Quite the opposite. Consider that by eliminating bots and multiple accounts, only honest, hardworking users who genuinely believe in the value of their coins will remain in the system. The system was designed for you, regular individuals, normal people, not for robots and, I don't know, wrong dozers. I assume you that I assure you, I assure you that every last one of them will be removed from the system. We won't leave any door open for snowbots or snow thieves to infiltrate among you, our honest snowmen. Someone has asking how to access the open source code of ICE network. Oh, believe me, man, it's very simple. Please enter the site ice.io and right on the homepage, you will find the GitHub logo where you enter where our entire code is from the first day of the project until now. Okay, let's move now. I propose you to a very interesting topic in project management. Planning for success. Well, my friends, in the dynamic world project management, planning is not a static endeavor. It's a constantly evolving process. Project managers must continuously update and refine their plans as projects progress, adapt and changing circumstances, and ensure that objectives are met. This part of our sessions delves deep into the art of science of planning, highlighting its pivotal role in project success. The crucial project plan is very, very important. At the heart of effective project management lies a comprehensive project plan. However, this plan is more than just a simple schedule of activities. No, it serves as the guiding document that outline every facet of the project from its inception to its conclusion. A formal project plan encompasses several critical components. Project purpose and objectives. The first component. Clearly defining the project scope is paramount. The same for objective. What are the objectives? What are the deliverables? What is within the project boundaries and what lies beyond? In the last two sessions, we talk about establishing the purpose and the objectives. Well, the next one, resource allocation. Efficiently allocating resources, including human resources, materials, and equipment, is key to ensuring the tasks are completed on time and within the budget. We will start talking about the resource allocation today. The third, risk management. Building on the risk assessment conducted during project initiation, the project plan outlines specific strategies for mitigating and managing risk as they arise. The next one, timelines and milestones. A detailed project timeline is constructed, incorporating milestones that act as markers of projects. These milestones help the project team track and measure their advancement. Well, communication plan. Effective communication is central to project success. The plan outlines how information will be shared among team members, stakeholders, and other relevant parties. If in the review session we address the purpose and objective of our project, today I propose to move on to the allocation of resources for our project. What is the necessity of this resource allocation at the stage you ask? You could ask. When we intended to go on a road, we documented ourselves regarding its length, the route, etc. Then we make an allocation of resources. Then we evaluate what resources we have and how much we allocate from these resources for certain stages. This whole planning stage, it's called resource allocation. Let's see how many categories of resources we will have. Well, can you come up with suggestions on how many types of resources we know about? It's fabulous. Material resources. What can you include here? Maybe, for example, we need a land that we already have to build something on it. Other examples of material resources. We need to use a number of computers with related monitors. These are the material resources needed for our project. Human resources are very important. It's a very important category of resources. Any project is developed and implemented by people. No matter how much one speculates in this period regarding the contribution of artificial intelligence and robots in the creative and production processes, behind all the machines, there will still be people. I don't like the speculation that conclude that we should stop this advance of artificial intelligence development. I agree with those who sound the alarm and suggest that any such car equipped with AI should have security and safety systems that are able to limit or block or disable any action that could lead the harming people. There is much to discuss here regarding the ontology of the developers of artificial intelligence machines. Returning to human resources, here we always take into account the level of qualification, training, level experience required to fulfill a certain position or a certain task within our project. It's one of the most expensive resources of one project, but it is at the same time one of the crucial resources without which the project cannot be implemented. Are there other type of resources? Could you tell me, are there other types of resources do you know? Well, It could be informational software and artificial intelligence resources. Um, let's take a very trivial example of weather forecast information, let's say. Extremely important for a very wide range of projects, such as those that take place outside or direct or indirect connection with the weather outside. Any construction project, for example, needs the most accurate information on the weather provided by a reliable institution or entity. Therefore, one of the resources is the information resource. There can be many needs regarding the information and ways to obtain it. For example, if the company has its own weather station that is linked to a meteorology institute, then that station becomes a particularly useful information resource. If the company has an artificial intelligence engine trained to generate, for example, architectural plans, this can be a particularly useful resource. The examples can go on. We live in the world of information, which travels at the speed of light and can be accessed when we need it. What other type of resources do you know? Do you remember what is the most valuable resource that we humans have? Do you remember? Please answer on the chat. I'm very curious. Do you remember what is the most valuable resource for humans, human beings? Yes, Manly, Stefan, time. You are right. Stefan, you are right. It's about the time. Pi Vance, time. Uh, ask me, water. Water is very important, ask me. But for us, the most important is the time. Nerve. You told us that the most important is its energy. Not is the most important. The most important is the time. Okay. Once again, uh, there are not wrong answers. There can be answers that show a lack of information, a lack of understanding, which can indicate a look of another perspective. As our friend, water. Yes, from on another perspective, water is the most important resources. But if we have not time, our life has not time to spend, the time is most important. Here, no one make a mistake when giving an answer. No, my friends. And yes, it's true. Time is the most valuable resource at the individual level. Uh, okay, without time, we couldn't, I don't know how to say, we couldn't make any other activities. All our activities are related to time. Not later, we have the financial resources. Without adequate financial resources, most projects cannot be implemented. Of course, there can also be projects that do not require directly involvement of financial resources. Projects that use the effort of human resources without the need for a financial contribution. These are small projects usually developed by non-governmental organizations. The vast majority of projects, including personal and life projects, need financial resources to be implemented. In conclusion, we would have the following types of resources. And let's remember material resources, human resources, information, software, and artificial intelligence resources, time resources, and what? Financial resources. Una manita, as they say in Spanish, a handful of resources. What does a correct allocation of these resources consist of? How do we do this concretely? We start with objectives. By achieving the objectives, we practically contribute with each achieved objective to the fulfillment, the outcome of the purpose. There are multiple techniques for resource allocation planning. For the purpose of illustration, we will use just one. Let's take a personal project as an example. Let's say we've set our purpose as improving the material and emotional well-being of my family in the next year. It's very important to have in mind and obviously set it up and have in mind purpose. Improving the material and emotional well-being for my family in the next year would be a very, very normal personal project. What problems have you identified in the problem analysis? Do you remember problem analysis from the previous session? Let's say we found the following. My salary is low compared to my current needs. Be a problem, my friends. It's a problem for, I don't know, part of you. It's a problem. My wife's salary, it's also low. Another problem. Yes. We can't save anything each month. Emotionally, we started to drift apart due to these issues. So, let's find the objectives. We discussed in another session that we should start by acknowledging and finding solution to our problems. In other words, we transform what was a problem into a solution. Transforming a problem into a solution, it's a healthy, constructive approach that brings us stability and the strength to move forward. What does this mean? Bringing us stability and the strength to move forward. By frequently using this mechanism of transforming problems into solutions, We create a within us to follow when something isn't going well. It's like generating software that when something is wrong or not going as planned, activates this problem solution mechanism, this transformation mechanism within us. This transformative mechanism help us steer away from a defeatist, anxious, and depressive approach where we only see the negative aspects. Once installed within us, it urges us to transform problems into solutions quickly and then set us on a course to establish objectives. Returning to the theme of the day and the example we are discussing, the personal project. Once we've identified the problems using this transformation mechanism, we'll turn them into solutions. Let's see what this would entail in our example. Let's say I have a low salary compared to my needs and those of my families. It seems simple. I need to increase my income. This is an objective. How do I achieve this one? What solutions can I find to reach this objective? But first and foremost, I need an indicator of achievement. An achievement indicator could be, for instance, increasing my income by 50% more than I earn now. To allocate resources properly, I absolutely need to find ways to achieve this objective. Let's say I've analyzed, based on my qualification, the current job market that I can increase my income by more than 20%. Maybe if I move to another country, I could, but that's not possible as my family needs me here. So, what solution could I consider? I could think of a three-step solution. First, I could find a new job with the same qualification but paying 20% more of the initial step. In the second step, I might need to look into taking a project management course or another qualification. It's feasible. In the third step, with my new qualification, I could aim for a job that, even I start as a beginner, will provide a significantly higher income than my current job. Moreover, I would offer opportunities for professional growth. First and foremost, we need to allocate the resources of time. This means placing all the necessary and sufficient steps, actions, on a timeline to achieve this objective. I've made the initial resource allocation, time. For the first step, changing my current job to one that pays 20% more, I need to allocate time to send out resumes and attend interviews. I will need to carve this time out of my family time and might even have to sacrifice some of my vacation day from my current job. This time reallocation will need to be included in the communication plan we discussed earlier. You remember? Without serious communication with all the interested parties, with all the stakeholders, instead of resolving issues, I might create more problems. Just imagine how my wife would react if were to disappear for 2 or 3 hours every afternoon without telling her anything, without honest communication. I would generate more problems. That's why a communication plan is extremely necessary. If my wife knows and understands, by the way, it's crucial that the stakeholder understands that what I am doing now, it's part of a larger plan that, when realized, will bring greater well-being to all of us as a family. She's not only less likely to get upset, but she's probably support me. Instead of complaints, I might even get a clean iron shirt. Let's share a smile about that. Yes, I will receive support, which is another type of research, somewhat included within the human research category, but capturing other aspects, such as those of stakeholders. Moreover, to achieve the objective in this second step, I will need to allocate an amount of money, perhaps a significant one, to pay for professional training courses. Here is the allocation of financial resources. Whenever we talk about financial resources within any project, we refer to two categories: own financial resources or attracted financial resources. Own resources are those at my disposal or expected to be available coming from certain possibly contractual sources. We can't say here that income sources depend on the market fluctuation without definite contract, such as salary or commercial contract with specific terms. All these are certain resources. The other category, it's attracting financial resources, such as short, medium, or long term loans, or other type of loans like a line of credit, bridge loans, and others. Any financial resource that doesn't legally belong to me and contributes to the project is considered as attracted financial resource. There are conditional grants granted under certain conditions. Until the conditions imposed by the grant agreement are met, these are considered attracted resources. After all the conditions in the grant agreement have been met, from that moment on, they become my own financial resources. If the grant agreement doesn't impose additional condition apart from those that led to the eligibility for the grant, then the financial funds granted through the grant are considered my own resources at the moment they enter in my accounts. In other words, when drawing up the project, because I rely on that grant, I consider it an attracted source. However, once the funds have entered my accounts based on the contract, I can consider them as my own financial resource. In the case of our own project mentioned earlier, let's hope that even if my mother-in-law give me a grant, it comes with a lot of conditions. Of course, I'm joking. Also, connoisseurs know that even a mother-in-law grant can happen. They can be some of the most demanding founders. Returning to the topic, human resources. In our case, isn't applicable. I myself am the human resource of my project. Uh, well, information resources, uh, artificial intelligence, and software. It's clear that I need information and must thoroughly research. This means gathering relevant information about the project management courses, the curriculum quality, the trainer's quality, course recognition, and much, much more. There is how much of information I need for this objective. Even in step 1 and 3, I will need information and documentation. A large part of recruitment processes happens digitally, online, and behind the scenes. There are several servers using software and artificial intelligence. So I'll be using both information and software resources. Here, we had a simple example of resource allocation, perhaps not very relevant, but simple enough to understand the resource allocation mechanism. I want to emphasize that there is a multitude of high quality project management software available. Some of them are tailored to be feasible for construction industry, others for IT projects, some to manufacturing, and many of them can be configured and customized based on each project needs. Well, my friends, in this session, given our limited time, we cannot discuss several types of objective and resource allocation. Please write to us on the chat if you have any doubts or you need different clarification or detailing of some topics. Well, from India, a request of management that I am reading from our chat. If you're to meeting in Hindi language, the many people will join. My friend, Dancer Ruby. Well, on the YouTube, you have a automatical translation of my of our sessions. If you want to setting up the your YouTube application, YouTube has I don't know a feature that it's allowing you to translate in your language too. For sure, in Hindi language, Google YouTube has this feature. Well, we still have answers to your questions because I know you are waiting for these answers. One of the questions referred to staking, staking ice. Well, my dear friends, you can find this answer on the site in the knowledge base, in the staking session. if you search on the website, you will find the information that the staking period starts with the launch of the mainnet, that is with phase 2. This is also normal because then you will have passed the KYC procedures and you will have the coins in the mainnet in your wallet. Your big advantage is that now, for the mainnet, you benefit from a pre-stake bonus of up to 250 percent, depending of the staking period and the percentage of the balance. An extra bonus of 250% will be added to any of your earnings. Besides this, during the staking period, after the mainnet launch, you will receive the staking reward, which is a daily event. And you can use the coins from this reward as you want. But I think that the biggest advantage you have is that by staking, you indirectly increase the value of ICE on the market. The smaller the volume of ICE on the market, the more useful we will have ICE through the application in the ecosystem, the higher value of currency will be. So, if you, and I don't know, 70% of the Snowmen stake, then the ICE value will be high. For this, you will also receive the stake reward, as I told you. This is passive income, that passive income that we all dream of, that will change our life. So, by staking, you only have the only advantages, and the biggest one is the increase of ICE value. One of you asked us to add a feature that would allow to ping tier 2 referrals. Well, my friends, this will not happen. You will be able to ping everyone who is your tier 1 because you know them, because they are your friends and you have a relationship, directly relationship with them. Those who are tier 2 for you were invited by your friends. You may not even know them. On the other hand, it is the obligation and duty of the one who invite them to manage the relationship with them, to take care of them. We want to respect some limits of private life. If he's not your best, your referral, you cannot ping him. The one who invited him is the one will ping him. Well, I found two guys, Steph and Weasel, that raised the issue of the white paper, the roadmap, and again, total supply of ice. Gentlemen, as I announced before, in a few weeks, we will release white paper 1.0. Then you will find out an important number of uses of ice. And you will understand why we say that ice is truly a game changer. ICE will have behind it an economy, um, a new generation of Web3 services. ICE is an ecosystem that will support continuous demand for ICE. But above all, being a completely decentralized system, it will generate consistent income for all those who support the network, those who place the coins at stake, those who have large teams, or those who will become content creators. All of them will enjoy consistent earnings. In fact, this is the decentralized future. The revenues will not longer go into the deep pockets of a corporation, but will be distributed to those who put the infrastructure, who work, those who secure the network, those who become content creators, those who have consistent teams. This is truly decentralization. ICE, decentralized future. Regarding the total supply of ice, is for the last time when I will ask, I will respond of these questions. Although I have given the answer several times before, I'm coming back and saying for the last time, the total supply of ice coins is influenced by various factors, such as the number of registered users, the number of active miners, and events like halving, bonuses, slashing. It is currently not possible to determine the exact total supply until phase one is completed. Unlike other projects in ICE, if you are not actively participating, if you may experience a reduction in your coin balance due to the slashing mechanism, do you know? This unique feature makes it challenging to predict the total supply of ICE coins after phase one will be done. How do we know how many of the users will be active and will mine tomorrow morning? We can only have an estimate, but even that is not precise at all. We don't know how many will take the daily bonuses tomorrow. We don't know how many will enter slashing. We have not a way of knowing how many of the existing accounts do not belong to the real people. After QIC, we will see it. So, you see, we have no way of knowing from now what the total supply of ice will be. What can I assure you? That only those correctly mined coins will pass to the mainnet, not those obtained by method of circumventing the rules. Here are some reasons why we have not way of knowing the total supply of ice coins right now. Therefore, until phase one is completed, it is very difficult or almost impossible to estimate ice total supply. Dear friends, here we are nearing the end of the session number 6 of our wonderful ICE personal development program. I thank you all for being present here and now. I especially thank all those who have the patience to watch the session from minute one to the end. This patience and seriousness of yours is proof that you will succeed in what you purpose. It is proof that you are the ones who have the determination, consistency, and discipline that bring you among the winners. Patience is one of the virtues. We will talk about it in one of our sessions. With this, we conclude here our 6 sessions. I'll be waiting for you next time, next Friday, at the same time, here at ICE Personal Development Program. Thank you for your attention and involvement. May we be blessed with light, inner peace, and wisdom.